Hello world, my name is Jack, and I'm a student of programming, and I'm also going to be teaching programming. So basically, the reason for that is I am myself a student of programming. I like to learn program, and I'm in process of learning it. And in my learning process, I stumbled on why is it so complicated? They complicate things, and everything is implicit. So I thought to myself, the best way to to learn something is to teach somebody. And I hope my learning process will be your learning process. But anyway, so I basically just put in a little quote from Albert Einstein. If you can't explain something simple, you don't understand it, right? I put in another quote, or a saying. It's called a kiss. Keep it so simple, which is a program saying. And I put in my own saying, I don't know shit, you don't know shit, but we want to know shit. And if you know everything, um, I don't know, go somewhere else. Anyway, so what is programming? Well, programming is basically talking to a computer through a translator called a compiler or an interpreter. Um, it is basically translating human language into a computer language. Um, so there is go here, a computer language. A computer language, also called binary code, is the simplest form of programming. It's basically a bunch of numbers, 1 to 0. So I made an example of a binary code. There's a bunch of 1 and zeros. Um, when you look at it, what is this? You know, matrix, what is it? But it basically translates to I love you. There's a way to do that. It's called a ASCII code table, American code table. Um, you can learn it. I don't know why you would, but you can because you can just translate online. I don't see a reason for it, but maybe there is. I don't know. So there is a human language. It's the translated language that a human can read and understand. I'm gonna jump straight to the IDE and just cut all the fucking crap. Um, IDE is an integrated development environment, which is basically just a fucking program that has different pre-written codes and libraries that will help you program faster and better. So I put in the Google explanation. You can read it if you want. If you ask me, it's a bunch of pile of shit. Um, so there's scripting and programming language, but we all sit down and shit. And I'm busy. I'm a free time student. I forgot to do it. It will be another day. Maybe you will do it. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. So there's languages. The different languages there's 1500 different languages. You're never gonna learn all of them. But I put in the top 10, except from HTML. When you want to learn program, you have to say to yourself, or ask yourself, what do I want to do with programming? Do I want to build video games? Do I want to make Apple apps? Do I want make apps for Tesla? What do you want to do? Maybe websites, maybe firewalls. Maybe you want to be a hacker. Or nobody's a hacker; it's illegal, But so there's Python. In Python, you can use it for many things. I think it's one of the best languages, and it's very popular. You can make video games, you can make apps, you can do everything. And there's Java. If you want to go a web developer and make websites, you need a PHP language or HTML, which I forgot to put in, but let that be it. And if you want to make maybe video games, I know like World of Warcraft, it's written in C++. Anyway, so each language, it has a syntax, which is basically the grammatics of the language. So there's different ways of saying, making a block of code or anything. Don't think too much about it. It's the grammatics of the language. Or you have to think, but let's move on. So then there's a higher end language and a lower end language. A lower end language could be like C. It is machine level and an assembly language. Who the fuck knows what that means? But it's more complicated. There's more to learn. It's not developed as much as newer languages, which is way more user friendly. So higher end, which is Python, is object oriented. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump right to the example. I'm gonna go on my IDE, which is Microsoft Visual Studio 2019. Um, there's a lot of different IDEs. There's Python and Eclipse, and but my favorite and most popular in the world is Microsoft Visual Studio. So that's what I'm going to recommend. That's what I like. I like Microsoft. I'm a big fan of Microsoft, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to the example and explain the world's first program. Hello world, line by line. I'll be explaining C++, which is an object-oriented language. What I'll be using, I'll be making a video maybe once a week. Let's see how much time I got. It's going to be from the book, Bjarne Strostrup, Programming Principles and Practice Using C++. What I also want to say, if you really want to learn it, I think you have to get a book. All this crap, learn programming in 5 hours, forget it, man. You need a fucking book. Don't fuck it. It's clickbait, But anyway, I'm gonna pause the video and jump to my IDE. Alright, so anyway, I open my Microsoft Visual Studio. What I will do is I will put a link to Microsoft Visual Studio in the description, or maybe I will edit it in the video later. But how to download all this crap, you have to figure out yourself. If you can't figure out how to download a fucking program, I'll be honest, you're not going to be a programmer. Just go fucking download it, okay? So you open it, it looks like this. What you can do is you create a new project. Whoop. So you can open an empty project. You can do it in a Python application. It's the Python language, or you can do it in C# or JavaScript or Visual Basic, which is also a language, or but we're doing the C++. So I want a C++ project file. And I'm gonna call it Hello World number 10 because I edit this fucking video 10 times. I it takes time for me too, So I'm gonna open it. What it does is it opens a little feedback thing. I will give feedback later. I like you. Okay. Anyway, it opens this one. What we're going to be working with is a source file. So you click here. There's no window here. You click here. You click Add and a new item. So what I want is I want a C++ file. Anything after a dot is the file type. This is a C++ type. It makes sense. .c++ pp. Then there's a header file .h. If it was a Python file, it would be .p. If it was an executable file, it'd be .exe. But anyway, we're going to be working with the C++ file. I'm gonna open it, and I now have an empty template. Or empty, it's not a template. It's I'm not. Anyway, I just cheated a little bit and made here. Here is the world's first program in a assembly language. It's all there's another. Anyway, I don't understand too much about that. It doesn't fucking matter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain each line for you. The first line we see here. No. First I'm gonna explain this one. The green text here. The green text. After /2 is basically something that the computer program, no, not the computer, the compiler won't translate. It means it's something for programmers to write and read for each other. So that's basically what it is. If I made a program, I say, okay, function number 5 is the function for age or something. I don't know. I put it in there for the next one to read it. There's nothing more to it. It's just a text for developers to write to each other. Anyway, that's the green part here. We take include. One thing that is very important when writing programs, it is very letter sensitive, which means a capital letter will bug it. I was about to write include with a big I, then it doesn't understand it. Computers are really dumb. So we're gonna write include, and this one, it doesn't read it. It's just a text I'm writing. So include stdlib facilities.h. So the .h, it's a header file. Everything after a dot, like that, is the type of the file. Don't think too much about it. So what include does is including pre-written codes or libraries. Take the next line here. It's a int. Yes, alright, it has to be a name here. Let me just write that. There we go. So we're gonna write here int. What an int is an integer. An integer is a negative or positive number, a whole number. And I guess that's a kind of function that would execute. I wouldn't think too much about it right now. I will try and explain further later. But that's what it is. In C++ programs, which is what I'm teaching and learning. In C++ programs, you can see it here. I'm gonna do it like this. C++ start executing the function main. This is the type of function. Int is the type of function. It's an integer, a whole number. And then there is main. You see the next line here, main, which is basically the name of the function. There has to be a main function. There has to be a main function. Again, I write it in capital, but if you write in capital, it's not gonna understand it. Computers are dumb. There has to be a main function, but let's say I make a new function. I do like this. I would write this. I still write it here. I would write this, and I would say main2, and that's my next function. It's just the fucking name of the function. I can also call it hello world 2. I can call it int piss2. I can call it anything. It's just a name that I can then further on down my program. I can call this function. Let's say let's skip that. Let's skip that. Let's just stick to this. All right. So what is the next one? We have this one, the curly braces. So we have two curly braces. Curly braces, which is a function's body. That is where this statements of statements of the function is. What actions is the program to do? So next one, we take count. which is basically whatever fuck C means. I don't know what it means. Like I said, I don't know if I said it, but I didn't go to university. I don't know. I just know it's output. I don't know what the C means, but C output, and it's basically the output what the program will write print. I'm gonna make this print because later on there's some print statements, and also anyway will print on the screen. So while I'm saying that, I'm gonna mention also count in or cin, which is C input, which is the input. So what is output and input? Let me see. Let's make an example here. Example. So I want to know what is your. We have a program or a calculator. What is your BMI? Alright. So you go on Google. You want to know what your BMI is, and you put in your input. Input user. What is your weight and height? So in my case, I am 180 centimeter and 70 kilo. Alright. That is my input from the user to the program. My input from the user to the program. The output. What will be the output? The output will be my BMI, the result. So my BMI is 25. I don't know if it is, who cares, you know. But that is the output. So anyway, we have here, what else we need to explain? This backslash n. Great. So backslash n is basically a new line. That is something that is specific for C++. But anyway, it's probably maybe other language, I don't know, but they don't use it in Python. So it's basically just forget everything I said there. So it's basically a new line. Let's like on Facebook. So like on Facebook, you write a comment and press enter. It makes a new line. What the computer does, it actually does this because Facebook is written in C++. What the computer does is it writes \n when you press enter. So it's basically just when you press enter and it goes down to a new line, you're writing a comment. And that is exactly what it is. Or no, maybe there's some more to it, you know, but so what else we have? What else we have? We have the hello world here. This one we can explain that also, but there's two differences of this. There's this one. It's you can use this one, which is larger than whatever. Let's forget. Okay, I write it anyway. Bigger or smaller than, just like math, you know. But don't think too much about it. If you don't understand it, just ignore it for now. You don't need to know. What else we have? We have the quotation marks. Quotation marks. So we have that's called a string. And a string is basically text. So anything enclosed by the anything closed by quotation mark is a string, a text. So what else we have left? We have what do we have? We have a redirect end here. I'm gonna explain that in a second, okay? We're gonna take the return 0 anyway. Return 0. So that's that's the value that it will return. I guess the program will return. And that is because it's an integer, it's a whole number, it doesn't have to return anything. It don't have to return anything. So it's a fucking 0. Because it's a fucking text, there's no fucking numbers, there's no nothing. There's no input, there's no nothing. What else we have? Alright, so let's jump over here. That was the world's first program. So now we're gonna jump over to C++, which is an extension of C. So if you know C, you already know some C++, blah blah blah. Anyway, there's some bumping here. I don't just ignore that. But in C++, you have to write this every time you write something. Let's see, say input. But there's a code. I can show you later. You can just Google it. What I do is I put a bunch of commands in Word files, and I have a Discord server, which I also put it in. So I just copy paste. I'm a lazy asshole, you know. But now you already see the difference between languages, because here we need to redirect end and a std. We didn't need this one here, because it's an older language. They just add more commands and make it easier. The newer languages they are, and well, I'll ask somebody who knows more about it. Anyway, so now you already experienced the difference between languages. What else we have? Here's another difference between it. So in old days, I guess it's like that. In old days, we would use this one. But now you don't need it. You don't need this. Fuck this shit. You just need to include iostream. Or actually, I think you need all of them. But anyway, what I do is I just I just have all the included where I fucking copy paste all of it, and that's why you need, you know. Anyway, I think that was it. Oh, actually, let me just show you how to debug and bug. So what we can do here is we're gonna run the program, or you can debug it, which is what you're going to be doing as a programmer, basically, unless you're developing, also when you're developing new things. Okay, so we're gonna debug it. What the computer does is it's gonna run the program, or debug it, check for bugs. There's no bugs, the program is running. Let's say there was a bug. Let's say, let's try and remove this one, the redirect end. Also, I have to say, for count, you need a redirect. After the statement, you always need a redirect end. I don't know if you can exactly say it like that, but after statement, you need a redirect end, which is this one. And that is specific for C++. In other languages, you don't need it. But anyway, so I removed the redirect end, so I'm gonna try and debug it. What's going to happen? It's going to bug. So it says, there were build errors. Would you like to continue and run the last successful build? Fuck no, I don't want to. I want to see what bugs I used. Oh god. And then it happens, you see there's 2 errors. And which file it is? It's in the C++ file. That's from later. You can open, you know, header. Don't think about it. So there is it expected a redirect end. What the IDE will do is try and help you fix the fault. So what you can see is it's on line 11. There is a syntax error, which is a grammatic error of the file. So I wrote something grammatically wrong to specific language. And it is on line 11. What you can see here is a line. I'm on line 4 right now. So I go here. Okay. Press here. It says line 14. So I go up 1, 2, 3. It says it wants a redirect end here. And also sometimes there's gonna be a light bulb here where you can click quick actions. And you can press. There we go. And it actually, the program actually fixed the mistake for me. And that's basically it. And now the program can run. And then let's see if I can, because sometimes I don't know. I think there's sometimes some bugs, especially with the light bulb. It worked this time, but you know, no, we're just gonna skip it. But you know, it's not my fault. It's Bill Gates' fault. Okay. All right. Have a good day and good weekend.